Interesting facts about Equatorial Guinea. The things you should know about Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is an enthralling country with a rich past. It's a small country in central West Africa, nestled between Cameroon and Gabon. This country is made up of the mainland and 5 offshore islands. But there's a lot to learn, so let's go in a little further. Here are 7 fascinating facts about Equatorial Guinea. If you are considering a vacation to Equatorial Guinea, here are 7 interesting facts about the country. 1. It's the smallest African country to be a member of the United Nations. Equatorial Guinea, with an area of 28,000 square kilometers, is one of Africa's smallest countries and the smallest to be a member of the United Nations. Despite its appeal among tourists, Seychelles is Africa's smallest country, covering only 451 square kilometers. Monaco is the world's smallest country, according to the United Nations. Of course, there are smaller African countries that aren't members of the UN, but establishing participation is a step toward peace efforts in conflict-affected countries. 2. It has one of the worst records of human rights abuses in the world. The administration of Equatorial Guinea is authoritarian, which means that allegiance to the government is enforced at the expense of personal liberty and independence. Equatorial Guinea receives a score of 5 out of 100 in the annual Freedom in the World survey, indicating that its people are not free. The poll rates political rights and civil liberties. Equatorial Guinea received a score of 0 out of 40 for political rights and 5 out of 60 for civil liberties. Furthermore, human trafficking is a big problem. Traffickers primarily target young women and children for domestic work, forced labor, and sex trafficking in the cities of Beta, Malabo, and Mongomo. 3. It's the richest country in Africa on a per capita basis. Equatorial Guinea is one of Africa's greatest oil producers. It has a gross domestic product, GDP, of $10 billion, making it one of Africa's richest countries. Equatorial Guinea has a GDP per capita of 34,865 in compared to its population size. Despite having one of Africa's fastest-growing economies and being a significant oil producer, the country has a high poverty rate. Over 70% of the population is poor, with more than 40% living in extreme poverty. Corruption and institutional weakness are to blame. 4. Equatorial Guinea is the only African country to have Spanish as the official language. Because Spain invaded Equatorial Guinea in the 1700s and 1800s, it is the only African country where the primary language is Spanish. It became a Spanish territory, and as a result, Spanish became the official language. Malabo, the capital city, is recognized for its Spanish colonial architecture. While Equatorial Guinea's neighbors Cameroon and Gabon, like many African countries, speak French as their official language. As a result, it is frequently surprising that 68% of Equatorial Guineans speak Spanish as their first language. 5. The president has served since 1979. Teodoro Obiang has served as Equatorial Guinea's president since 1979. He became president after organizing a coup against his uncle, who was in office at the time. As president, he acts as both head of state and head of government, giving him enormous power. At least 12 attempts to overthrow the government have been launched since Obiang took office. Moreover, despite the fact that various organizations have stated the polls are rigged, Obiang continues to win. Human Rights Watch compares his presidency to those of a dictatorship. Obiang not only oppresses his people, but he has also been accused of using public funds to purchase expensive mansions and cars in France. 6. The capital city is not on the mainland. Malabo, the country's capital city, is one of the few that is not located on the country's mainland. Malabo is located on the island of Bioko, which is 20 miles from Equatorial Guinea's mainland. Denmark and Gambia are the only 2 countries in the world that do not have their capital cities on the mainland. 7. Equatorial Guinea is building a new capital city. A capital city that is not on the mainland is inconvenient. As a result, Equatorial Guinea is constructing a new capital city on the mainland. The new capital city, Ciudad de la Paz, was meant to be shown to the world in 2020, but it is still under construction. It promises to be a contemporary, livable capital city. It will be deep in the rainforest, chosen for its accessibility and mild climate. Thanks for watching video.